Start recording, stop recording button.
Hi everyone on YouTube, this is Hope here. I hope all of you are well and staying safe this warm summer. Today I thought I would do a video on what it's like to have a disability in school and have like classmates tease you. And kind of maybe some other things on when you're younger and as you get older. Like what you might say to your younger self. Okay, so I want to say I had some positive experiences and some negative experiences in school, public school, with students that weren't disabled. I would have people come up to me, and for example, we'll use some different names here. We'll say Ginger and Cheyenne, okay? Ginger would change her voice and say she is Cheyenne, and Cheyenne would change her voice and say she is Ginger. Now, mind you, since I can't see, I know they're in front of me, but I know who's who, even if they change their voice. And that would just drive me nuts. I'm like, why are these people doing this? It doesn't make any sense. And then I realize, oh, well, they think they can just tease me by switching their voice and seeing if I would know as a young girl, little girl, if I would know who they were. And I would always say, you know what, guys? Ginger, I know you are not Cheyenne. Cheyenne, I know you are not Ginger. I know who you guys are, even if you change your voice. Now, sometimes there's people that can get me and change their voice, and for a second or a minute, I might not realize who it is. But when you're a little girl and you're in school, you don't always understand that then, you know? You just think, oh, gee, people are teasing me to be mean. But maybe in their minds, I don't know, maybe they thought they were just being funny. But in reality, I think they might have been teasing me because I'm blind and they thought it was funny to, oh, Hope won't know who this is, or Hope won't be able to tell us apart if we switch our voices. But I did, and I think if I remember correctly, I just handled it by saying, you know what, I know who you are, Ginger, and I know who you are, Cheyenne. So you guys can change your voices all you want, but I know who you are. And then sometimes I'd have kids come up to me and say, how many fingers am I holding up? And I would say, you know what, I can't see that. And I just had to know that they didn't understand. Maybe they were trying to figure out what I can see and what I can. Maybe they're just trying to be mean, you know? And let's see. That's some people might say that's teasing. Some people might say that's bullying. But so people might look at that scenario in different ways. Excuse me. I was invited to birthday parties. And this is kind of to go with when you're young and disabled and people without disabilities that are in your age group, like, you know, maybe 4th to 6th grade, you know. You know, sometimes you feel you might fit with them and other times you might not. And you don't know if it's them inviting you or their parents inviting you because they want to include you. So sometimes I would go to parties occasionally and not, you know, and feel sad because I don't know why. I would try to interact with them, but I wouldn't always know, like, are they really being genuine with me, or are they really just inviting me just because, and so sometimes now when I see teasing or bullying, sometimes if it's towards me and my sight, which I haven't had in a long time, I may explain to them, I am blind, and I may say, I understand you might not understand what it's like, but so back then, I guess I would tell myself with the bullies and with going to birthday parties and not knowing if I'd fit in, and sometimes even having friends come over to my house and not knowing, how to feel, or I don't really remember it, but I mean, I did a couple times. I would just say, they're trying to be friends with you. Try not to read into it, is what I would think now. And try not to feel sad, and just try to realize that you're being included, Sometimes I'd end up hanging out with adults just because I wasn't sure. You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't know, So, I mean, it's hard to know, and sometimes I probably was shy, and I felt sad inside when I was with kids my own age that didn't have disabilities, because I don't know. I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I was the way I am now, where I'm outgoing and I talk to people, and I sometimes still get that sad feeling. And maybe that's just anxiety or nerves, but I mean, I guess I would have just told myself back then, if I know what I know now, that they're trying to include you in. And some people that tease you might not know how to handle your blindness, or might not understand, and they want to see what you can and can't see, and what you can and can't, they could switch their voice around and, think that you might not know who they are, and you really do, because you know them. And I've been harassed in school. I had an incident where I had to have an officer sit with me at lunch, a DARE officer, because I was harassed by a boy. And I don't remember, my mind's not letting me remember what he said. But I forgive him, and I forgive the people that teased me when I was a kid. I forgive them. Because looking back, they might not have understood. And I just hope that I was never mean to people back then because of being nervous, or because of being shy or have anxiety. I hope I never offended the people that I was hanging around. And if I ever did, I'm sorry. I just, when you're little and you're young, you're confused. And kids have to be taught right from wrong. And I would tell kids now, if you have a disability in school and people are teasing you, I guess I would just tell them, as shy as you are, maybe you're shy about your disability, maybe you're not. Just tell those kids, hey, I don't like that you're teasing me, but I want to explain something to you. I want to explain what my disability is. If, whatever age you are, you're able to do that, I would do that, because that would help kids to know, hey, whatever that person's disability is, they just explained it to me, and they're pretty cool, and I want to hang out with them, and I want to include them, and I don't want to be mean to them or be a bully. I want to be kind to them, and I want them to feel included. And I don't want them to always have to go over and talk to adults because they don't feel like they can fit. with me as, like, say I'm a child and I'm hanging out with, say I'm a little girl and I'm like hanging out with kids, and I hang out with adults then because I don't feel like I could fit with the kids, And if a kid teased me, I would just say, hey, I'm going to tell you about my disability and I'd love to be included. And hopefully those kids would stop bullying, stop teasing, and want to hang out with kids with disabilities. Because really, we're all the same. We just have to do things differently. And I know there's kids in school that have been bullied worse than me and teased, and they've had people be able to stick up for them. But I guess I've learned a lot in my life now that I wish I didn't feel sad when I was around people my age back then. And I wish I feel about my disability like I do now back then, because I feel like if I was more open back then about my disability, or had a better understanding of it when I was younger, that I would feel like I can hang around kids and not have to hang around their parents at birthday parties because I didn't know how to be, or I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And when you're a kid, sometimes, not all kids with disabilities, but some kids with disabilities have obsessions. Like, when I was younger, I used to obsess over Michael Jackson, and I used to drive my friends nuts. But I don't know why I did that. And sometimes it still happens to me every once in a while, but it's just because I'm curious and I can't experience the certain things. Like, right now I've been into orca whales, and I want to understand about them, and I listen to YouTube videos on them, but I still don't fully understand because I can't pet one and I can't be near one, and so I might talk about it a lot. And sometimes I would get teased for talking about things a lot, like a certain topic a lot. Like when I was in grade school and public school, I'd get teased, sometimes for talking about Michael Jackson all the time, or sometimes I wouldn't. So I guess you just gotta roll with it when you meet disabled people and non-disabled people, and try to learn about each other and have a better understanding of each other, and ask questions of each other, so that when you're a kid, you can feel comfortable and feel better around people that are different and people that have the same things. Because I wish I didn't feel sad back then. I wish I could handle my disability with the way I handle it now. Because then I wouldn't have felt sad around those kids. And sad when I had people over at my house. Because I would have understood that they just really wanted to include me. And I don't fully know how to take the sadness I felt. And I don't know why I felt sad. Like empty. Like, I don't know why. But I can speculate now why I might have felt that way. But I wish I didn't. I wish I could react to things the way I do now when I meet people. I still get anxiety about meeting people and wonder how I'm going to fit, but I don't fully feel the lonely or the sadness. I feel more anxiety-ridden, even though people might not notice it. And it's hard for me to handle people when they're mean to each other in any type of situation. I just want people in the world to have a better understanding of each other, whether that be culture, disability. Maybe the person doesn't have a disability, but they wear glasses or they wear contacts, and, maybe kids might poke fun of that. But if the child just explains to the kid that's making fun of them, hey, this is why I have to have that, because without my glasses or contacts, I can't see very well. And it helps me to see better, just like you can, you know? And I'd like to tell some stories. I did have some experiences during recess where kids would have me jump rope with them. And we'd play 4 square and 2 square, and I don't remember how much I talked to them, but they did include me a little bit, which I really liked that. And I hope that other people with disabilities in their younger years are able to have that experience. Because some people might be bullied more frequently and worse than I was bullied and teased. And I feel bad for those people, but I hope those people have the strength to move on and teach people about their disability that are teasing them, instead of running away from them and saying, oh, they're bad people, they're teasing me and they're being mean. You know, I know when you're young it's hard, because I wish I would have been that way with people that teased me and been more understanding with my disability and explained to my disability. And maybe when I was young I just didn't know how to do that, and now I do. But I really hope that everyone, disabled or non-disabled, if they're being bullied and teased, and it doesn't stop and you've tried to stop it, you know, please tell an adult, you know, and maybe you can have an adult come with you and explain to the other person that you're at school with that, hey, you don't have to tease this person because they're different. Maybe they can explain to you why they're different so you can understand, instead of teasing and bullying and being mean because you don't understand. And it would teach kids to have a new perspective on people that are different because of a disability, because of maybe their skin color. Honestly, of what I can see, I think people of color have very pretty skin. And sometimes the way they style their hair is pretty cool too. The way I've heard people say they style their hair. And so you can always find the positive in a situation if you're able to, and not always the negative. Well, I hope this was helpful to you all. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. And I hope everyone stays safe, and please be kind to one another, no matter how old you are, no matter what your disability or what your culture or who you are or what struggles you may be having. Please be kind to one another, and please have an understanding of one another and teach each other about each other so we all can understand how each other is and have a better understanding, and we all can be friends. And there can be kindness and love spread all around the world. And we can have less hate and more kindness and respect for all people and animals and things in the world. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Stop